Wow. Just wow. I probably noticed that you can see me now. I don't normally show my face, at least not in a lot of recent videos, and I should probably explain. I've been on YouTube now for what'll be 10 years this coming
12
October.
o'clock a.m.
And back then I showed my face a lot more. Over time, a lot of derogatory comments have forced me to withdraw, shall we say. Now, so the president, we now have a new president-elect of the United States. I am not, somebody asked me in a previous video to talk about who I was pulling for. And I said to him that I prefer to remain neutral on this channel. We have a new president-elect, and during the campaign he said a lot of things, and a lot of people are saying, well, don't take him literally, etc., etc. Okay, I'm not going to get political here, but I will say this. The derogatory comments he made against that gentleman who was a reporter with a physical disability, that hit me hard because, for those of you who do not know, I have a vision problem. I have mild spastic cerebral palsy, which basically means that my balance is off. My my coordination, because I can only see out of my left eye, my coordination can sometimes be off. My heel cords are tight. His election proved one thing. Now we have a lot of work to do in terms of being an accepting society. Now, for those of you who voted for him, I congratulate you on your win. Me personally, you probably noticed by now this is a somber, there's a somber mood to this video because I personally did not vote for him. Now let me say this before anybody, if you stop, if you're writing a comment, stop for a moment and hear me out. As I just said, this election has proven that there is a lot of divide in this country. We have a long way to go, and I think we'll get there someday. Now, I will state that I have some personal fears based on the rhetoric of his election. Now, of his campaign. Now, nobody knows what the future holds. No one. Not me. Not President Obama. Not Hillary Clinton. No one. Nobody knows what the future holds. If you believe in a religious icon, excuse me. If you believe in a religious icon, be that Krishna, Jesus, Buddha, whoever, you may feel that they hold the answers to the future. All I can say is buckle up because it's going to be a really interesting 4 years to come. Now, I think I may have trailed off for a moment. I just a moment ago I congratulated those of you who elected Trump on your win, and I did that for a reason. I understand where you guys are coming from. A lot of people in rural areas felt that they were not being listened to. Okay, I understand that. I completely understand that. And you have my sympathies. For those of you who are curious, I will, like I told you, I don't get political on my channel. I try to remain neutral. But I will say that I do think in progressive terms. I am wholly open to a global society because if you think about it, you're here on the internet, right? You're watching this video. This video takes place within a global society of sorts. So I have friends from all over the world. I have a friend from China. I have a friend from the Philippines. I've got 2 friends in London. I've got a couple of friends up in Canada. Excuse me. I've got 1 friend down in Mexico. And I've also got a friend in Brazil. And if you're watching this, by the way, and if anybody else who I talk to is watching this, and you probably haven't heard from me in a while, I do want to apologize. That is going to be a recurring theme as I continue my doctoral studies. But thanks to the magic of Google Translate, well, I shouldn't say magic, I mean the technology behind it. This gentleman and I from Brazil have some really interesting conversations, and the way it works is he's not very well versed in English. So what I do is I take what he writes, I put it into Google Translate, translate it into English. Then I type my reply and translate that reply back into Portuguese. Now, is that a perfect system? No. A couple of times, a couple of words may have gotten mistranslated, but it's actually made for some interesting conversation. Microsoft has a universal translator built into Skype where somebody can speak in their native tongue and printed English will appear in the chat window, and this is currently available only in Skype for Windows. But the point is this technology has allowed us to become a more inclusive global society. Like I said, I personally feel that we need this inclusion because I look at us, like for instance, if you want to know how to get into my good books, it's quite simple, really. Are you human? Do you have a genuinely good heart? Are you positively contributing to your society? That's all that matters. That is literally all that matters. I don't care about your religious beliefs, especially, after this election, it's been a wake-up call for everyone. We really do need to learn to respect one another. No matter what your religious views, no matter what your orientation, no matter what language you speak, if I can run your language through Google Translate and we can have a conversation, you're welcome to contact me. My university and many universities across the country are trying to drive home that they too are inclusive institutions. I feel that we need the inclusion. Um, try to think of it from my point of view for a second, okay? Close your right eye. You'll notice immediately that your vision changes. Now try to live with that every day. Okay? It's different. It really is different. But you know what? It doesn't matter because I graduated high school with a B average. I got my bachelor's, I got my master's. I'm going for my doctorate. I have work experience the last couple of semesters as a graduate assistant. Um, so I am definitely contributing my part to society. As long as you're contributing, I don't care if you're a farmer, I don't care if you're an IT pro, you know, if you are if you are a good-natured human being, then welcome to my circle is all I can say. Um, I just wanted to put this out there and say that I respect and I love everyone. And I truly believe that if we work together, we can all become a unified global society. Now, for those of you who are scared of globalization, I understand. I completely understand. Um, the people that are afraid of globalization yearn for a simpler time, a time, back when things were what they were used to. And I get that. I mean, change is the only constant in the universe. For instance, 10 years ago, back when I remember back in elementary school, um, we had to memorize our tables, and obviously, that's a good thing. My elementary school principal felt that that wasn't necessary, that we'd always have a calculator on us. As a result, a significant portion of my graduating class got into serious trouble with math. Now we've gotten out of it. A lot of us have gotten out of it. But at the same time, they made a poor judgment call for the time period. But you have to understand, we're looking at 18 years ago, almost 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. I started to say that. Even 10 years ago, nobody could have predicted that we would have these computers in our pockets, the ability to communicate with anybody around the world. I just wanted to say that I hope the next 4 years go, well, I can only say as smoothly as can be expected. I don't pretend to know the future. But I want everybody to know out there in YouTube land and across the web that I personally am open to, having a debate with anybody of a different faith, of a different political view. It's actually quite interesting, to be honest. The reason I don't get political on my channel is because if I personally watch the PBS NewsHour, it's really the only news source on TV that I watch, and they upload their videos to YouTube and they disable their comments. I think it's a good idea that they do, because if you take a look at CNN, you take a look at some of the comments, I mean, it's just incredible. It's like I said, this election has woken us up to a more stark division than any of us could have predicted. All I can say is, buckle up, because it's going to be an interesting 4 years. I hope people get what they want. I hope that they are successful in life. My personal view is I hope that I hope that things remain, as stable as can be expected given the circumstances. But I wanted you guys to know that um, that I love everybody. Like I said, if you're a human, if you have a good heart, if you're contributing to society, if I can run your language through a translator and we can have a legitimate conversation, welcome to the fold. So I just wanted to put this out, and yeah, so feel free to comment. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.